How many years have come and gone since that day? How many years have I waited for this moment?
Good morning! I feel like my camera's a little high. Okay, that's better. Welcome! We are returning to Defenders of Eorzea. When we last left, Gale had just defeated Ramu in a test of strength, which meant that Ramu trusts Gale to protect Eorzea, and he does not need to wield his primal influence because we beat him. And we are now reporting in from that. We are on our way to the Lotus Stand to go tell Khan E all about what we just did. Conjurer's Guild. And then we still have the issue of Teleji Adeleji trying to wreak havoc among the Alamegan refugees of Ul'dah so that he can force his political hand and get the rights to the Cartanu Flats, where the Calamity main impact happened, because buried underneath, apparently, is the Omega weapon, which is supposed to be equal to, if not exceeding, the terrors of the Ultima weapon. But first, let's go report in. I fancy my presence was more help than hindrance during our troubles with Leviathan, but this time around, well, even I have my days off. Ah, the hero of the hour! Let us not keep the elder Seatseer waiting. We should have seen Moxio when we got back to the Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake... You should have seen Moxio when we got back to Little Solace. Grateful is an understatement. I thought he was going to shake Papalimo's hand off. 'Twould seem that Ida's appraisal of the situation held some merit after all. Mayhap I should not be so swift to discount her intuition. Older sister, younger sister bickering.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
It would seem that y'all are saying the same thing. Thus ends another daunting mission, eh, Gale? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless I can only admire the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Ariange too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Gale? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? Certainly. Duty calls? Well, no matter the task, I have faith you will see it through to the end. Take care, Gale. I look forward to hearing all about your adventures when you return. I just returned. The children are quick to take Eorzean ways, but I cannot claim the same flexibility. Hey, Mr. Gale, what's a Ramu? Is it cute and fluffy like a horse bird? Well, it could be described as fluffy in the beard department. I tried substituting native ingredients several times, but the result was but a pale imitation of authentic Domin cuisine. Speaking with Master Coltnet has opened my eyes to the great many things. I had no idea the world outside Doma was so strange and wonderful. Mayhap one day we shall accompany you into the field, but for now we must see to less glamorous duties. Mr. Gale, is it true you're going to go adventuring again? I'm so jealous. Worried about leaving us alone? Don't be. While the Archons are away, Hoary Boulder will keep the little ones safe. Welcome back, Gale. Word of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you. It always does. I would fain share news of my own, but Urianger's discoveries must take precedent. Upon witnessing your defeat of the Lord of Leven, our learned companion was struck with a profound insight regarding the nature of the Ascians' immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observation together.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the waking sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Leven's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior.
Lesson time.
Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
"'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated."
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether-given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth the distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
Similar, I take it, in the way that the crystals of light that I have picked up along the way allow me to travel to the ethereal sea to commune with Hydaelyn and not be dead.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
And there is that realm of which we just spoke. The Lord of Levin is returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramu's acquiescence was most intriguing. Emir Ololth. Inferno, Vortex, Craig, Whirl, and Levin all have now been humbled by the Bringer of Light. The limitless potential of man, Heidelin's servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet he proffers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining, but their souls are grown weak and wan. Grow weak and wane? I don't necessarily know the term wan. Yet even as it enervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted, to forge the final key. And that is the task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds were ever wont to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the field, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew, and the one true God shall come again. Ugh! I just saw who signed into Final Fantasy XIV Online. Now the matter of Ramu has, for the present, been put to rest. There is something I would show you, Gale. It is a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless service to the realm. It mentions, in particular, the names of all the defeated primals, Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mogulmog XII, Leviathan, and now Ramu. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to efface them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel that they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Gale, and Eorzea is much the safer for your presence. Why am I scowling? Pray, do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in this realm until such time as they are forced to stop. Why, even without their encouragement, you may be rest assured that Why, even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own, and that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals, too, will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet, despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you have faced on our behalf, and the people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we are now blessed. of the sylphs of little solace who wish naught of conflict, of the Alamegans and the Dolmens who stand with us determined to halt the dread march of the Empire. And then there are the many unsung individuals who have gathered here in Revenant's Toll, honest men and women who seek to employ their skills for the good of all. Of course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow Scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians, and combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. I don't know who's speaking, so I can't do a voice. Enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, Antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it will not inconvenience you if I absent myself for a time. I could have guessed it was Alphino. Alphino, I take it the troubles in Ul'dah no longer require your attention? There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. That, and to speak with you concerning the new organization we discussed. Don't do it, Alphino, don't do it! Ah, I have a message for you from You recall the refugee girl, the one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on her thanks to you. Why, Alphino, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your report. I do hope you left nothing out. Gale, you have been away from Revenant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put the affairs of the realm to one side for the moment and take this opportunity to reacquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, Slathborn but recently inquired as to your whereabouts. I believe he has some small matter he wishes to discuss with you. Why not oblige him a visit? You've done well, Gale. Why don't you join me at the counter for a drink? My treat. Might I suggest those seats over there by Flamine and Higiri? Though, of course, anywhere would suffice. Enjoy your respite, Gale, for you certainly have earned it. Just do not relax your guard overmuch, unlike a certain someone here. I'm not sleeping. I was just engrossed in thought. That's all. As is oft said, trouble arrives when you least expect it. It is precisely when things appear to be proceeding according to plan that we must needs steel ourselves for impending danger. Are you listening, Ida? With everyone coming back, it's gotten quite lively around here of late. Why, at times it almost reminds me of the old days of the Waking Sands. Not only are Higiri's culinary creations positively delicious, you should see her at work in the kitchen. She wields a knife like nothing I've ever seen. Sadly, I lack the ingredients and seasoning needed to truly recreate the taste of my homeland. That said, I've come to enjoy this challenge to my culinary skills. Some might think the life in an adventure a carefree one, but you and I know that this is far from the truth. While you may not be beholden to a single lord, you bear the weight of the entire realm's expectations on your shoulders. Hoary Boulder's sparring practice grows more spirited by the day. I hope only that it is not too spirited for the younglings who face him. I spend the better part of my days crossing blades with children, but I approach the lessons with as much fire as any battle I've ever fought. The Domans may have found refuge here, but none are so naive as to think their troubles are over. I would prepare them in body and spirit for the challenges that yet lie ahead. Mr. Boulder is a demanding teacher, but we trained hard in Doma too. We'll not bend so easily. Look at Mr. Boulder with his shining armor and his giant sword. Do you think I'll ever be strong enough to wield a blade like that? Just you watch. Someday I'll be as strong as you, and I'll protect everyone from the Garleans. Mr. Boulder says we must be brave, but that's easy for him to say. He's big and strong, but I'm small and weak. Doma is lost, but if we keep our heads high and learn from our experience in this place, perhaps aught may yet be done for our homeland. One thing I'm slightly confused about, what they mean when they they've talked about the rejoinings, and then they referred to the ardor. As though the ardor is also a present thing, coinciding with maybe the most recent rejoining? But I'm missing that detail. Oh, I see my fine adventurer friend has returned, the dust of the road yet clinging to his boots. Do the Scions have no work for you this day, then? The antecedent sent you my way, did she? Well, it is not urgent, but I could certainly do with your help. You see, Revenant's Toll has become something of a favored destination for adventurers, but part of that's due to the town's growing fame, but a goodly number of green heroes-to-be have come in here to follow in your footsteps. And when I say green, I mean fresh out of the ground, don't know one end of a sword from the other green. I've done what I can, but what they really need is a good talking to from someone they respect. An adventurer who has done it all. Aye, Gale, that would be you. And naturally, the one lass who would most benefit from your wisdom is nowhere to be seen. She was off to say Happilets and was due back some time ago. Likely got herself in over her head, as usual. Now that I think on it, may be the perfect opportunity for you to treat her to a demonstration of your skills. I consider it a personal favor if you would head out to the singing shots and show the amateur how it's done. I almost am vaguely recalling that the second half of this patch has absolutely nothing to do with the Monetaris, since now Alphino is back and says everything's fine and he's going to go off and do his nonsense. Which leads me to believe the rest of this patch is just running errands in Revenant's Toll with the Domans and would-be adventurers. And no actual, story. I can't get this way from here, can I? Nope. I have to go all the way around. if you want to world travel and come find me, we can become friends that way. That's how I got these people on a link shell, so I can always check when they're here. But I can't just search for you directly. Basically, Kel came and found me. He was watching the stream, came and found me on Zalera, and then formed a party with everybody to run stuff, and I was able to friend them all. Okay, we'll kill this one first. Not the sprite! Aww. Yeah, no, I'm not on Balmog. Although, if you're still in Mordona and want to sit there, when I head back, I can probably world transfer. And then friend you that way. I just gotta kill this Hapolite first. I remember one time doing that to you. You were inside the Waking Sands. Okay, so you'll be sitting in Mordona for a while. Then, yeah, I'll try to hop over and friend you. But I remember one time I was watching you and you were in the Waking Sands, and I parked my chocobo right in front on that stepway, and you logged out without ever leaving the Waking Sands. I was so sad. Damn near pissed myself back there. I was hoping to find myself a little one. But the fates went and threw the meanest bugger of all in all of Mordona at me. Typical. Hold up, you're Gale Fairheart, aren't ye? The Gale Fairheart? Seven hells, you're flippin' famous! And you're twice as tough as they said you were and all. Bugger me, I can't believe I'm talking to the man himself. Aw, and now you've gone and seen me at my worst. 'Twas me bleedin' pet's fault, I tell ya. Doesn't listen to a damn thing I said. That and the fact that none of me so-called mates offered to help me. When I told them I was off to go gut some Hapolites, most of them gave me a confused, huh? Or a, like I was talking out me arse. You, don't agree though, right? Gods, not you too. That's the final bleeding straw, that is. I was hoping you of all people would understand. I mean, it ain't adventuring if you don't take a few risks, right? Alright, maybe I am a bit out of my depth here. I'll be more careful, I promise. Hi, Nims. Wait, this time I can run back. This is a one-way passageway. Oh, and I slightly adjusted my camera. Do you approve? The door is less prominent. I went the wrong way to get out of here. Shut up. There we go. But see, this way I don't have to, like, contort my body as much for you to be able to see Carby and Fat Chocobo. And then eventually I want to put the tapestry I'm going to make on that wall. Maybe I can't get out this way. Come on, I know I can get out this way. There we go. No. No. There. Jump! What's up, Nims? You're circling me. Am I a dead body and you're a buzzard? Click drag. Alright, before I check in, let's see if I can world transfer here. No, I think I have to go to Gridania first. What's up, Nims? Do you want to come sit on my lap? Do you want to come sit on my lap? You can come up here. You're circling me. You're circling me. Let's see. World transfer. Visit another world server. Balmong. Meow. 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 Aw. Aw. Meow. Meow. Alright, I don't have names on, so let's see if I can find you. No. Okay, where are you? There you are. Send friend request. Yay, and then social friends list. Invite to crossword link shell. Friends for Gale. Nice car. I'm gonna play that game eventually. Why can't I get in your car? Huh, it won't let me get in your car. That's interesting. Well, I'll fake it. There, I'm sitting at the bottom. Of 15. Now I'm in the trunk. Alright. Now that we're buddies, and I'm very happy to see you back in game, I will let you continue mucking around with your hot bars. I don't know! Or maybe, I don't know if it's because I'm cross-world. I know that previously I've gotten on mounts of people who weren't in my party, because that's how I got around Eureka. But examines, it's just all you. It's not your mount. Let me see. Mount guide. Oh, I wonder if I can only get in it if... No, that's not right either, because I've ridden in wedding mounts when I didn't have two-person mounts. Yeah, I don't know why I can't get in your car. It's preventing me from being kidnapped. I got the email saying I paid money. Good idea. Good idea. Don't want to waste it. Are you still working towards becoming you're an anachronistic dragoon? I see you've got your lance on. Almost. well, hopefully you can get back to it and get into the story and get excited again, so it's not a very expensive one day in Final Fantasy XIV. Alright, I will leave you to it. I'm heading back to finish my patch. You'll be ready for Shadowbringers when it comes out? Right, yep. Mm-hmm. Nim says hi. You haven't had cat butt in a while, so here's some cat butt. I can't see Nim. If you want to sit there, you gotta lie down. Hi, you. Hi. You are being very needy today. Do you know that? You are being very needy. This isn't like you. Visit another world. Go home. Oh, I also got, I now have both of these. Let me see if I can find it. This one and this one. Nim, you know, it's a good thing that people don't tune into this stream just to look at me. You're so needy. You're so needy. You need the loves this morning. Usually you're sleeping. Alright. Let's go check in with Slathborn. Which you could lie down. You can lie down. Yeah. I know we need to keep working on cleaning out your undercoat. My old keyboard is now programmed to the keys. Wow. You are all teched out. What's the B supposed to be? Oh, you just pushed it by accident. Hi, girl. Hi, girl. I need to read what Slathborn is saying to me, but I can't see it right now, because you need attention. Ah, Gale, you have my thanks. The lass I sent you out to instruct trudged back into town looking properly chastised. I thought a lesson from you might pierce the obstinate skull of hers. Nothing I said seemed to work. Truth be told, she seemed more inclined to listen to the rustling of my beard than anything that came out of my mouth. You have a beard? Yeah, I guess you do, but I just fought Ramu, so it's quite pathetic. Ahem. But now that you have demonstrated the skills she yet lacks, it will not be long before her addle-pated peers hear the tale. They will soon realize that one does not become a hero in a day. It requires dedication and perseverance, and learning from each task you undertake. There are no shortcuts, Gale? I don't want any of them. I'll take that one. Gods, would you look at these people? Seems they're carting adventurers by the wagon load, and more than a few are eager to rap on the Scion's door. I wonder if this constant flow of aspiring heroes is what has Sataru looking so perturbed. Maybe she could use a friendly ear, Somebody needs loves. Oh, you've all rearranged yourselves again. With the Doman younglings dashing around hither and yon, there's hardly a moment of peace to be had. That said, traveling with Yida, it's not as if I'd know much peace to begin with. The storm has passed and a moment's quietude is ours. Tataru is using her newfound time to further her studies, and I would follow her example. If living in Eorzea has taught us anything at all, it's that such restful moments are fleeting. Dark clouds ever stir anew on the horizon. I'll talk to you last. I told Flamen all about our adventures in the Sylphlands, fake Thancred and all. You won't tell the real Thancred, will you? I do not know where we would be without Higiri. The girl has worked tirelessly for us every day since her arrival. Do you suppose all Doman women are so diligent? Oh, baby. Oh, baby, you need loves. You need loves. Mom, why'd you stop? Why'd you stop, Mom? Yozen's always been the strongest of us, but even he's no match for Kaoru when she's mad. Our lessons are through for the moment, but a true adventurer never shirks his duties. I say we shall go on a patrol of Revenant's Toll. Are you taking a rest too? Promise you'll play with us again soon. The game of hide and seek in Vesper Bay was the most fun I've had in forever. Meows. I can't see again now. If I were as big as a mountain and strong as a bear like Mr. Boulder is, maybe I would like fighting more. Despite all the hardships they have faced, the younglings pursue their training with great zeal. We older ones would do well to follow their example. Ah, Gale, care to watch the lessons before you journey on your way? I dare say your presence would go far to inspire the younglings. Repetition and routine beget skill. Skill begets confidence. I would do what I can to see the Domans regain their strength of will. Many of my countrymen have found work at frontier hands, helping to transport supplies and continue the expansion of Revenant's Toll. I have been tasked with keeping the equipment here in good repair. It is not particularly glamorous work, but I would help in whatever way I can. No, Thancred, you're not suspicious. 137, 138, 130. Oh, hello there. I've been charged with keeping inventory. Flamen tells me it's vitally important. Oh dear, I seem to have lost count. Never is a woman more lovely than when she's hard at work, I say. A wild rose, strong and beautiful, blooming tall in the face of the frozen winds. Hello, Gale. What might I... Oh, Slaffborn thought I could use a friend, did he? What a sweet man, though I did not think my fretting so obvious. Well, I suppose there's no sense in hiding it now. Now there's fur all over my keyboard. 'Tis time to reveal my little secret. Hee hee! It quite suits me, don't you think? But 'tis not simply for show. I've been learning the mining trade. Why, you might ask? Ah, therein lies the source of my dour demeanor. Ever since we relocated to the Rising Stones, the scions of the Science Dawn have stepped out from behind the curtain, so to speak. Our victories over the Empire have granted us a certain degree of fame, and many budding adventurers have traveled from afar with the intention of joining our ranks. And while I welcomed each new member that takes up our cause, we have too little coin! As I'm sure you are aware, we are a strictly neutral organization, and ensuring that neutrality means limiting the funds we accept from outside sources. The Scions do receive various means of support from the three major nations, and the Livier twins were quite generous with their families' coffers. Yet this modest income cannot keep pace with our day-to-day expenses. There's also the sundry donated material, of course. Those are delivered to the Adventurers Guild and swiftly allocated through the expansion of Revenant's Toll. While I'll cheerfully leave the top lead of Primals to you, 'tis my duty to balance the books and fight the demons of debt. On my honor as receptionist, I will raise the necessary coin with my own 2 hands. I even paid for this sturdy mining attire out of my own purse. Which makes it doubly aggravating that my custom-made sledgehammer has yet to arrive. I scrimped and saved especially for that tool. Gale, if you would help me see the Scions survive this fiscal disaster, then I would ask you to travel to the Blacksmiths Guild in Limsa and demand they hand over my commission at once. Oh, and regarding your travel expenses, I'll have to check our available funds. Once you have my sledgehammer, pray give it to Flamen. I should be out digging up riches the best I can with the equipment I have. Crystal clusters, here I come. What can I do for ye, lad? If you're looking to sign up, Randolph over there will run you through the initiation. You hear about a commission? Something wasn't delivered. Now that is passing strange. Unless 'twere an ale-induced dream, I'm fairly certain Mrs. Charterou's tool was shipped off days ago. Not like to forget the fortune of a sledge what needed flowers engraved on the head. Could be the porter met with misfortune on the road. If the blokes we employ are in town, then you'll find them south of the Octon, and on one of them empty lanterns. Seeing as we've heard not one way or the other, though, I'd be of mind to cast some doubt on the whole operation. Ugh, what a netting business. I might need a pint or two to put it all behind me. Fisherman's Guild. Well... It's a very uneven road there. Bugger off! I've work to do. Yeah, a delivery from the Smitties to Mordona? How the bloody hell should I know? I just haul the crates. Hang on a moment. You said Mordona, aye? Me mate was meant to see a shipment up to Revenant's Toll a while back, but took ill just before he was due to leave. Not to worry, I said. I'll take it there on me very own. Ah, bugger it. Well, we got bleeding busy, didn't we? And I figured someone come looking if their precious package didn't arrive any road, and here ye are! The crate you want is in the back someplace, marked and all. You can grab it your own self. Greetings, Gale. Tataru made mention of a missing delivery. Were you able to coax her commission from the Blacksmith's Guild? This box is so heavy you doubt tiny little Tataru will be able to carry it around herself. Wonderful. I shall keep it here with me until Tataru returns from her mining expedition. She is not one to approach matters by half, is she? The Rising Stones couldn't ask for a more able administrator. Still, I'm somewhat worried for her well-being. I realize Tataru means to mine and not more, but even the outskirts of Revenant's Toll are not free from prowling dangers. Would you mind tracking down our industrious Lalafell and see that she has not come to harm? As far as I'm aware, Tataru intended to start her digging in the hills near the Tangle. You may have to call out to attract her attention. The cat is back. Oh, she's lying down behind me. I didn't roll over you before, did I? Breaking rock and splitting stone, I'll raise a fortune on my own. Delving deep for precious ore, I'll take a rest and dig some more. Toss aside the pebbles, toss aside the dirt, toss aside the scions who shirk their work. Phew, I think I'll call it a day. I'll make much better progress once Gale brings back my sledgehammer. Yes, I might even make enough money to indulge a little. Bloodcurrant tarts for morning tea every single day. Was that someone calling my name? And that sounded like Nim speak. Current tart for a moment there. Thank you ever so much. I believe 'tis past time I return to the Rising Stones. Gale, I must thank you again. I received my commission from Flamen. The floral engraving is absolutely perfect. After nearly becoming dinner for a mortal, though, I'm not so eager to head back out into the field. In any case, no more solo mining trips for me. I shall be sure to drag along one or two handy adventurer types to serve as bodyguards. Suppose I'll have to pay them, though. Well, no matter. This simply means I'll need to dig twice as hard. You've been an immeasurable help as always, Gale, but could you perhaps spare a little more of your time? To put the matter simply, the Dolmen children have been chattering about you endlessly. 'Twould mean the world to them to see their hero again. Look, it's Mr. Gale! He's back from his adventures! We heard you were off fighting primals and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Dolmen Adventurers Guild to protect all the Dolmens. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Gale? Could you show us how you fought the primals? What's all the commotion then? Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coldnet, we want to know what Mr. Did you know that Mr. Gale is back? So it would seem. Welcome home, Gale. My companion and I but recently became full members of the Scions, and I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coldnet. I've been talking to you guys ever since we moved in here. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Dolmen younglings in the art of combat. Ugh, I told you, Mr. Boulder, we're not younglings anymore, we're adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Gale if he could give us some special training. I think we're ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent with your drills, but I'm afraid the fiends of Mordona are still ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a good counter-proposal. What if I were to cross swords with Gale? A demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Hori, if I didn't know you better, and I do, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Ha ha ha, well, perhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Gale? Would you consent to spar with me? Hurrah! We are to have a tournament. Come on, everyone. We must prepare our gear for an outing. Do not try to disappoint them, Have faith, Coldnet. I shall summon every last ounce of my strength to make of this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I'm very much looking forward to our bout. Since becoming a scion, I have had much opportunity to hear news of your epic deeds. I must confess, then, that my excitement rivals that of the children at the prospects of seeing you in action firsthand. Mr. Gale is here! Let the battle begin! As we left Rising Stones, Mr. Thancred asked us where we were going. I told him we were off to watch you and Mr. Boulder fight, and he looked very surprised. I hope we haven't made him cross. We had a master of lessons back in Doman, and the way he taught us was very different from Mr. Boulder. I'm not sure which way is better, but I think I like them both. Is sparring dangerous? I don't think I want to see anyone else being hurt. 'Twas good of you to agree to this, Gale. I trust you are ready to begin? Let's do it! Very well, let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Ahem. Hori, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Gale you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray, allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas the hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Gale to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Your point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello? You haven't begun yet, have you? Yida, what? Who are all these people? When I heard about your sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there are still more to come. When I mentioned Gale's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. No. No, he really can't. We shall soon see. On your guard. Ugh, such power. The tails barely do you justice. Mr. Boulder won't lose, will he? It's not over yet. It can't be. Aye, the children have the right of it. 'Tis time I joined the fray. On your feet, Hori. Mr. Gale is so strong, but you can't give up, Mr. Boulder. Can't disappoint the younglings. Arg! Never has I faced such strength, but the lesson must continue. 'Tis your example I follow. Surrender not to the implacable foe. Have bested me. I yield. That was incredible! He beat them both at the same time! We knew you couldn't lose, Gale. None can defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I've much work to do if I'm ever to attempt the same. Impressive, as always, Gale. 'Tis ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. And judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is a most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? 'Twas at the memorial service for the Battle of Cartanu. At that time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended towards their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius and the order he proposed to enforce. The legatus' single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of loyalties, of course. Were it not for a desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned the realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me, through countless acts of bravery, that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not this land, nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people, these wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though we have never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish, a wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I, too, will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea and champion these people who toil towards a better world. Of course, our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are of a scale that cannot be solved by the signs of the Seventh Dawn alone. No, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threats and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, then pray let us continue this discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. You're just a wannabe, Alphino. That's it. That's all you are, is a wannabe. I can't wait for Alphino to start his new company. I love making new friends. I wish Yida were not so eager to look to the future when we have so many problems in the here and now. I fear Yida's boundless optimism is beginning to affect my better judgment, and your tendency to triumph against the most terrible of foes is certainly not helping matters. Your bout with Hoary Boulder was more stirring than 100 lines of my most passionate poetry. Perhaps I should arrange a sparring match of my own. No, this won't do at all, and then I'll have to... Oh, hello, Gale. If you don't mind, I'm terribly busy at the moment. 'Tis not enough that I am here for my daughter. I must do what little I can to help you all succeed in your monumental tasks. This place has become as a hive, and its bees flit about in constant motion. Perhaps a soothing pot of tea will coax one or two to alight and take a moment's rest. I like the way Mr. Colton fought. No swords or fists. I wonder, if I studied hard, would I be able to cast spells like that too? Mr. Boulder is sore and beaten, but he said he'd return straight to his training. Haha, I don't think he likes to lose. We need to decide who in our adventurers guild will do what. I'm fairly sure Yozun will have to be the sword fighter. He always has to be in the thick of action. Mr. Boulder fought well, but he was no match for you, Mr. Gale. Just you wait. One day I'll be good enough to knock you from top of a mountain. Gale, I must thank you again for agreeing to our bout. And I must thank the gods 'twas not a duel to the death. I will, however, cherish the lesson of each scrape and bruise as I work to better my swordplay. I thought the idea foolish at first, but it seemed the sparring match well served its purpose. Why, I can hardly wait to return to my studies and seek to improve upon my technique. My people's spirits were thoroughly crushed by the loss of our homeland, but thanks to your courage and generosity, I see the inner flames once more flicker back to life. I too have felt my strength of will make a gradual return. Our domain farming methods have been adopted here on the frontier. 'Tis too early yet to know if they will prove effective. With the primal threat presently subdued, now is the perfect time to focus on new endeavors. Alphino has long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into reality. Pray lend him what aid you can. Thank you for coming, Gale. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must ever be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Pray, forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the Seventh Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land, and directed against the threats that no single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have become the source of endless debate. And the longer these discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus towards unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It will be on a much smaller scale than we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation accorded to the Scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to lagging deliberations. Also, being a primarily military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedent. The Scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. Boops. But, as you yourself has witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what even we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, we will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goals of my proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to this true, broader, border-spanning Grand Company, 'tis yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. A tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I'm otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. 'Tis reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Don't put this on me. Our first destination will be Limsa. Let us rendezvous at Bulwark Hall. Hi, needy girl. How are you? Ah, there you are. I am ready to ascend to the bridge and speak with Admiral Blofuswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread the word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for potential matters, 'tis of no matter should they be already pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter that we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. My son has flown the nest, and I know not of what has become of him. Each day I buy more fish than I need, that I might have a meal to feed him should he wander back through the door. A precursor to a united Eorzean Grand Company? While I do admire the scope of your ambition, my responsibilities here at Naldic and Vinmelli's keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Huh? Who in the bloody hells do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodden knight in shining plate. If you're looking for a self-righteous fop, try knocking on that dandy Carvalian's door. if it ain't Gale, I'd not forget an adventurer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut into Titan's bedchamber. You remember old Riol, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes. 3 whistles at Bronze Lake. Aye, it ain't often I drag me arse out to Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare ye these days? You're looking to put together a new crew? Top-tier work? Ha! Sounds like a right lark, it does. Anyway, lad, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into me grave just yet. I'm okay with recruiting Riol. He was a company of heroes. Are you hoping to join our crew? You'll have to walk to the back of the line and wait your turn with the others. Perhaps the captain will like your face. Perhaps he'll pitch you over the wall. There are many and more willing to risk his fickle favor for a chance to serve on Lim Lane's most beloved shift. Flim Lane. Why does it say he's on there, but not on the other one? Interesting. I'm getting badoops. Captain Raynar is not going to join us. I'd love it if he did, though. I totally trust him. Master Althano's new organization? Yes, I had heard the formation of his trial company was in the offering. 'Tis with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, the protection of Limsa Lominsa must needs receive my full attention. I'm proud to have had a part in your training, Gale. You've become one damn fine marauder, and an example I point to when one of me novices ain't swinging as hard as you should. Novices. Yeah, we are asking Caravel, and he's not going to do it either. He'd rather stick to trading. He's a money man. An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity? I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens will well know that there is a time to act and a time to watch, and I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Gale, your recruiting went well, I trust? I am curious as to how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa Lominsa. Ah, a member of the legendary company of heroes indicated his interest? Astonishing! I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. Few could boast the acquaintance of such an elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Eldseedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray, continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await you at Nafika's altar. Oops, that's not the right door. Why do I not know what I'm doing? My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I'd be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of potential candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous at the airship ticket counter as before. Oh gods, can it truly be you? But what fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Yeah, you're the turncoat. Huh? Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Lorientis, the man whose crime you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron at Buscarone's. Well, of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if jail had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. Humph. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. And what of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this part of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matters stand, the wood whalers will have naught more to do with me. This may be just the second chance I was looking for. Revenant's toll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this. I promise you, I am a changed man. I don't believe you. My back is perfectly fine, I tell you. You'll have to tie me to my bed if you think to prevent me from... Ow. Well, mayhaps I will rest for just a short while. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere you are tormented. Back gives up on you for good. I'm terribly sorry. We just... Oh, Gale, isn't it? It has been some time since our paths crossed outside of Copperbell Mines. Why, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how far you've come. Mother Mion tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the ranks of a new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just, and my old companion here would be much relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. Don't necessarily remember her as well, outside Copperbell. Was she with Hoary Boulder? I'm gonna look it up. Alien Delagrants. Her party is among the groups that we see in the beginning, along with Edda's group and Dolores Bear's party. That was the other one. She initially explains themselves as old companions on the road. When met at Temtara Deepcroft, they nearly met their demise due to a misstep, and reminds the adventurer that one must look before the leap in dangerous places. At Coppermill, they explained that Dolores Bear's party all perished due to the Hecatonchires, and suspected their overconfidence did them in. Okay. So just one of the early, like Edda's group, and then Dolores Bear was the one I was thinking of. So I have no reason not to trust you. Orientis, he's sketchy. You're too old. You would offer this old man a place in your company of champions? I am both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here for whatever scant years remain to me, and bear responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. Yeah, you're still hung up on Hawk Manor. And Lady Amandine. It's raining, it's pouring. And you're just a wood whaler who stood here the entire time. 'Tis not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited, and this company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but its duties appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. What news, gal? For my part, the elder Seedseer was most amenable to our requirements. A former wood whaler and a seasoned adventurer, our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest, indeed. Shall we strike in Huldal whilst the iron's still hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Why did I click there? I didn't want to click there. Ul'dah, the gilded city where one's fortune defines one worth. I hope some matter and fortune is with us, and this final leg proves as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest descending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching from her personal guard. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Gale. This brat. Wait, you're the man who came to Little El Amigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead and a whole lot more of my friends besides. We were such fools. Any road, that disaster really got me to thinking about our homeland and about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated and vowed to make of myself a more worldly man. So here I am. A new company of champions, and you say will take me to all corners of the realm? That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in Little Alamigo. I prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Yellow Moon is not going to join the company of heroes. I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some new fashioned manner of propositioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. This lady is already spoken for. Good day to you, sir. Why would you talk to her, Gale? There's no way that she would ever join the military. I'm just talking to anybody I ever knew. Oh, hey, I recognize you. You want to join the company? Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I'm Orison of the Church of Saint Adama Lundama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing that fraudulent priest from preying on Drybones less fortunate. A most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion, Thancred, was it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek, then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good, but my place is with the church and the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in this undertaking. He's not leaving his post. A company that looks to cure the ills of the realm entire? Listen, friend, I can scarce bear the complaints of the next all over, let alone the conundrums of a neighboring nation. Have you come to tell me the news, soldier? Well, I've already heard it. Seems the would-be savior of Ul'dah's refugees went and got himself killed, and not by your hand. He was just as much a pawn as the hapless cast-offs he sought to deceive. Eh? That's not why you're here? Aye, you'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Purr Lane. I know of this new glorious company of yours, and just how far I'd go to avoid getting involved with it. Whispers on the street say your organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. If you think you're recruiting for a just cause, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. But it's not wrong. Now, it's good to know the only real shady one I recruit is Lorientus. I don't want that blame placed on me. Back to Chamber of View. How fared you, Gale? What hidden gems did the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamegan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are yet somewhat thin. In these troubled... Oh, right. Wilred, too. Wilred's just weak-minded. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have risen to the challenge nonetheless, and the hope that inspires these people are born in no small part from the victories you yourself has won. Thank you, Gale. I will not squander the precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial company with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, the documents signed, and the finances secure. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned by the syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and recorded. This organization will not be built on corruption. Naturally, I prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn the people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for United Eorzea.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. Cannot be done about Kalechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'Dan law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
I feel you, girl. Oh, hi, Leia! Now it's the other one.
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
Oh, now you're sitting in that spot. But that's because there's a toy there. With the primal threat presently subdued, now is the perfect time to focus on new endeavors. Alphino has long been laying the groundwork for this organization of his, and he looks to you to help turn his proposal into reality. Pray, lend him what aid you can. This is not a journey I soon wish to repeat, but I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of our efforts is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your service, Gale. I am certain the antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Greetings, Gale. Atheno tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Satoru is cooperating with Alphino to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Revenant's Toll of late, and I wonder if Slaffborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there is aught that he requires? can I do for you, Gale? I thought you'd have your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Ha! I barely noticed your recruits arrived. 'Tis barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have passed through here every day. While I appreciate your offer of aid, 'tis more your burden that concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedents, so I trust this means less work for you in the long run. Slapborn! The shipment! We couldn't... Gods, woman, what befell? We were bringing a shipment to Revenant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier effort. But just as we sought to cross over into Mordona, we were set upon by brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives by abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There is naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? If heretics are involved, then this is like to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did these supplies originate? House Forton. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see they are apprised of this development. Gale, were you not on good terms with the Knights of House Forton? I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help with this incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for your understanding. I am certain Lord Haurchefant will be glad of your assistance. Well, if it isn't my fine friend, Gale Fairheart, would you care for a plate of roast kakaru, some mulled wine? No? I see you have come into my hall. I see you have not come into my hall merely to escape biting cold. I was, in fact, on the verge of opening an urgent message from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Forton does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek.
Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Halone's blessings be upon you. Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
That should be said more flirtatiously. Girl, is there aught you would ask of me? Pray, speak plainly. I'm a man of action and need no honey words. On the trail of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury, but you do seem destined to cross paths with these villains. I must confess, then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly, without warning, and are canny enough to invade our most able trackers. But 'tis not merely their new-found organization that confounds us. The heretics themselves have seemed somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men we face seem utterly lost in the grip of righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims. As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a traitor was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid you in your task. I can't remember if that's here or up there. Oh, this is jail stuff. Storehouse. Tell you what happened? Why, yes, of course. I am quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly Blackhearts. I was traveling my usual route to Whitebrim Front when a sudden blow sent me reeling. The next thing I knew I was on the ground, and several heretics were rifling through my cargo, arms, armor, crystals. They were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary glaze and stalked over to better acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but you'll not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived at all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Almost done with 2.3. Finish up 2.3, call it a day, and be back to start 2.4 on Wednesday. And we have a month to get through 2.4 and 2.5. Gah! Draw your weapon, Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You come seeking heretics? Then we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced across one of their raiding parties and pursued them here. By rights, we should have had them cornered in this ravine, and yet they're gone, vanished like icy wraiths. You glimpsed a woman atop the cliff? Could it be Iceheart herself came to sneer at our folly? And to where did she disappear? The heretics must have discovered a passage through the frozen wall, some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigations. 'Twould be best were we to return to Whiteburn Front and lay our suspicions before Lord Drillamon. Wish there was an Aetheryte in Whiteburn. Of course, we're getting closer to the lands of horrible Aetheryte placement. What you doing, Leia? Getting comfy? Gale, it appears I owe you thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their report. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest. That they should be bested so handedly, I fear I woefully underestimated the threat these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. 'Twould be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray, return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Haurchefant of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, and the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart?
I feel so short.
Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Why am I dropping frames? We're almost done. Come on, hang in there. One more quest. One more quest. Gale, 'tis good to see you return to the toll. How fared you in the frozen wastes of Kurthus? House Fortin is to send a second shipment. I must send thanks to Lord Halchafont for his continued generosity. Yet, even as our town grows in prosperity, I feel it will attract ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphino's new recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. Let's see. A knocked circlet. Yes. While you were away in Kurthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? That's what she's doing. She's standing in the middle going, ah! See? These parchments need to be sorted and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I'm sorely tempted to file that lot in my wastepaper basket. Ah, Gil, you started me. You wish to lend me a hand? Splendid! Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't had the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here on the Rising Stones. You want to report directly back to Alphino if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Well, they're kind of matching in their own individual way. They have the same kind of color scheme. No. A lot of twin adder birds around. What are we all looking at? I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. A deep blue uniform crafted specifically for Alphino's new trial organization. Ah! Our new uniforms are reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself 'tis an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. I don't remember you. I kind of recognize the name, but I don't remember you specifically. Do we know you? Let's look it up. Yu Hasi. Nope, he was in 1.0. But that was about it. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there should be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. I don't know Artemis. Definitely not. This scarlet garb makes me a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hearty defender of Limstra-Lominsa. Yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm. And though this new company is a fine opportunity, to contribute to a grander scale. Oh, now that is a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Little El Amigo has learned much from Revenant's Toll, that this town can be so alive in the midst of desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Hello there, lad. Looking for me, was he? I'd suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure as I'd hear it among the bustle. Oh, proper uniform and all. The thing'll cut off me blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirits, I am excited to forge my own path forward. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Alright, we got 2 more. You. I don't believe we met. I'm Ilbert, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method of creating a common bond among what is essentially a band of strangers. I don't know you either. Gale Fairheart? Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. 'Tis an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. Yes, Gale? Ah, Tatari mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits. Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? 'Tis my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Gale. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea.
Why is the tall one in front?
From this moment forth, I declare you crystal braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready. I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder. Have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Gallians? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. The winds are uncommon fierce this day. Eorzea defended. And with that, we wrap up yet another episode of Final Fantasy XIV: Realm Reborn. We'll be back on Wednesday to start patch 2.3, or sorry, we just finished 2.3, 2.4. I've already forgotten the name of it, but something of ice. 7th Astral Era quests. Dreams of Ice, Dreams of Ice, Dreams of Ice, Dreams of Ice. We will begin Dreams of Ice with Traitor in the Midst on Wednesday. So, and wow, my quality is really funky if that's really what it looks like. Well, have a good night, and we will catch you on Wednesday. Ta-ta!